Yo, Calvin here. So the title of the story is I told my husband that he absolutely ruined the birth of our child. We're gonna find out what happened. What did the husband do that ruined the birth of a child? And to start off, let me provide you some context for the story. Hi everyone, our daughter is now 8 weeks old, so obviously this whole argument has gone on a very long time. We both have been holding grudge and neither of us think we are wrong. My husband does not know I am posting this, so I am going to keep it as anonymous as possible. So she really wants an outside opinion on this. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, my husband started immediately telling me that I should have a home birth. But I really don't know why he was so abundant on it. But he was at first. I brushed him off and I told him that I would think about it because I was only 6 weeks pregnant and the birth seems so far off. Of course, it came quickly, and my husband would literally speak over at doctor's appointment when my doctor would ask if I had a birth plan. This caused a few arguments between us in those 39 weeks of pregnancy, but I never really changed my mind. Eventually, my husband's mother sat down and talked to me, and she told me all the reasons why they did not want me to go to the hospital for the birth. I expressed my concern about, safety of the baby and myself, but just like my husband, she brushed me off. I ended up telling my husband that I would take myself to the hospital when it was time and that I did not want a home birth. He acted like he didn't hear me. We met with a doula who was also very pushy. I felt overwhelmed and not supported at all. I was 36 weeks at that point. So when I went into labor, I was 39 weeks and I begged, absolutely begged my husband to take me to the hospital where my daughter is. He wouldn't. He spoke to me condensely and called me the doula instead. Called the doula instead. I was in labor for about 3 days. Out there labor for around the last 22 hours. I cried the whole time. I just felt something was wrong. I was scared and oftentimes they left me alone. The doula told me that if active person in labor reached 24 hours, I had to go into the hospital. I remember thinking that I could not decide which was the worst. Staying in labor for another 2 hours or having my baby right there. When she was finally out, I don't even remember wanting to hold her. I just remember crying out of relief. Obviously, I am okay now, but I did not have a good experience. On my first appointment after birth with my daughter, she was very sad that I had the baby. She was concerned. I was so upset. I told my husband that he absolutely ruined it for me. I truly never wanted to go through that again. I hear mother says that they forget all the pain the second they have the baby, but I didn't. I love my daughter so much. It was a horrible, and it was entirely his fault. So I told him that several times. He rolled his eyes every time and tell me how mother are strong and how I am not trying to be strong. I told him that if we ever have another baby, which he wants, that I will never do a home birth again. His response is, "We'll see. I never possibly be here, but everyone around me is acting like this is so normal. It is not. Is it normal?" So I just think that that the person is definitely a danger to the family because the man just forced the wife to have childbirth at home against the wife's will, right? Even if it's like in the 1800s with the you can't afford the hospital bills and stuff, there's no insurance and there's no doctor, then okay, you can think about having like birth at home, like legitimate reason. But in today's technology, even if you're really poor, you can have Medicaid to cover for the birth of a child because it is hard, really hard to give birth and going to labor. That's just a lot of pain. How about like if there was a possibility, switch the role, put the baby in the husband's stomach and let him suffer the labor. Since all his reason probably is a religious reason to have a baby at home so the baby can be strong or something. If he really like it, if there's a possibility, put that baby in the husband's stomach and let him go to labor for 2 days, and now he will know what it feel like to have a baby and be traumatized and thinking that something might go horribly wrong. That's what I think. But yeah, it is a unfortunate like event where someone kind of basically just force you to do something that you do not want to do. I would really consider if I want to stay with that was the husband. Like he did not even care about your body at this point. He just cared about the baby. No, he cared more about the religion, you know, his mother's opinion than your body and your baby. As you say, you want to in the hospital because if something goes wrong, the doctor can treat it, right? If like I was in the give birth in the hospital right, because I was premature. If I give birth, if I was born at home, I would be in big trouble because I was born premature, so my nose was flat and my ears was like kind of squeezed in, and it wasn't really like I don't know, like it was hard for me to develop because if I had to be birthed at home, I live like an hour from the hospital, so there would be a really bad situation because I live in a small town. If the baby goes wrong, it is they do live in a big town, but they still need time to take the baby to the hospital. So every second counts. The baby, if the baby died, then it'll be the saddest day like you can experience as a mother died right in front of your arms and you could do something about it. You cannot because the doctor is not there and the husband decided to have birth at home. It could go possibly the worst way ever, just possibly the worst way ever. If there was some kind of complication from the baby, everything gonna be bad because the husband is not a doctor, the doula is also not a doctor, so they do not know what the heck gonna do to the baby. If the baby is stuck, never can even push out, then you gotta go immediately into a C-section. So you gotta call the ambulance, transport you to the hospital. Like that's a horrible experience. So a lot of stuff can go wrong in a home birth. I would rather just take my wife or my girlfriend to the hospital. That's what I want to do. Cause I'm not doing it at home cause too painful. That's what I think. What you guys think? Is the husband the asshole here or the wife thinking that it is normal to have a home birth? Am I just overreacting to? Right? That's what I think. But leave in the comment section what do you think. But yeah, my name is Calvin. If you want more of these kind of stories, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. My name is Calvin and I see you guys next one.